Peace and blessings. I definitely want to welcome you all back for another great episode. You know my name, celebrity interviewer. I said it, and this is the show. And you know, I always had a pleasure of being able to bring you all some of the best interviews from people that's making a name in entertainment and people that's also making a difference in building in our communities. And today, I just had the pleasure of being here with a good friend of mine. Actually, you know, it's definitely a pleasure to know her. You know, what I mean, she's also the CEO of Lumen-us publishing house. She's actually a very successful author, and she's been really making a difference here in the community. And she goes by the name of Marilyn Foster. You can find her at Hot. I'm sorry, it's my Hot. I have to cheat. I'm sorry. Hotreads.
The
Hotreads.com.
hot reads.
Hotreads.com.
The hot reads.
I like that. I love that. You know what I'm saying? That's a catchy website right there. Hotreads.com.
Yeah, it's important to say the hot reads because there is a hotreads.com. It is definitely not me, but with thehotreads.com, thank you, I said it's there that you can find some of our newest authors, some of our newest releases.
Okay, and definitely, I definitely want to welcome you to the show and salute you to everything you've been doing and all of your
Thank
accomplishments.
you.
You know, you're someone very great. You know, so first, I always like to ask, how's your day so far?
It's wonderful. Everything is wonderful. I'm grateful for the sunshine.
All right, that's always a good thing. So here on the show, Marilyn, you know what I do is, you know, I like to always start from the beginning. You know, I like to tell like the whole story of what my guest has been through, you know, because I know we all have our setbacks and um obstacles in life, and I know that you've overcome many miracles, and I like to speak about everything. But first, I like to start from the beginning. So, if I may ask, where are you originally from?
Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago.
Okay, Chicago. Like
hmm
South Side, North Side, West Side.
in the Morgan Park area, which is the south side of Chicago.
Okay, okay. Did you go to Morgan Park High
I
School?
did. I did. I went to Morgan Park. I attended there when they were having the lottery system. For those that might remember, before, and right now it's a magnet school, but before it became a magnet school, you had to participate in a lottery to get in. So I have sisters who are twins,
Yeah.
and me and my other sister got in. They would do like a random lottery for it to get in, and we got pulled in the lottery. So we attended Morgan Park. Well, my sister's twin, she went to go to Carver. So we wound up being broken up right in the same home. But yeah, me and my sister attended and graduated from Morgan Park High School.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think they
So
do it differently now, of course.
I'm sure you all had lots of stories to tell from what was going on in different high schools.
Yeah, yeah, we did. And Morgan Park at the time was going through some racial tensions. It was at the time of I don't know if you remember the movie Roots
Yes, ma'am.
when it first came out.
Yeah.
And so back then it was like 60-40 Caucasian, 60% African American, 40%. And so we were going through a lot of changes. And so the neighborhood was changing, a lot of transition. And so there were quite some stories to tell. And now we're in the phase of Black Lives Matter. And so uh, I think it's a relevant topic to even talk about, even then, you know, the tensions that were there. And we see that the country is taking note of things. And um, it was a big transition even in the high school. So yeah, there were definitely some stories to tell
Hmm.
because you could see the racial tension even back then.
Okay. Is there any particular moments or events that happened to you, racial, that you had to go through that you recall?
You know what? When the movie Roots came out, I think it was such a deep movie. And the storyline was so intricate and it showed that raw footage of what African Americans suffered coming to this country. That it just created a tension, you know, in the high school. And so I wound up in the middle of a race riot that I will probably never forget. And it started out so innocent, but it wound up being a young black boy and a a white student. And it might not have even been racially provoked at the time, but because tension was so high with the movie, because the movie was so gripping, and it was like a series, if anybody can remember it, it was like a series, so it was ongoing. And it created a race riot, really, that I mean, it was massive. I think they even closed the school for a couple days because of the aftermath of everything. So it was, I will never forget that.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah, the racial tension. But we got through it.
mm, yeah. Thank God. So, what was the energy like when you all returned to school then after something like that?
Um, you know what? It's almost like, you know how you have almost like a nightmare that you experience and it settles your spirit, and it
Yeah.
takes a while for it to just for that to dissipate, for that kind of peace to come back over you. To me, I would say that that was the atmosphere of the school. It took a minute for us to get back to some type of normalcy, where even if you had some friends who were, you know, of another necessity, ethnicity, it took a while to just be comfortable with them again and to bring back that camaraderie. Now we did have an experience, and anybody that went to school with me can attest to this. We had an area of the school where the Caucasians sat. We had an area of the school where the blacks were, and that became where you dare not go over on that side for a little while, and vice versa. So it took a while for that to calm down, where, you know, even if you were on the white side, so to say, or the black side, so to say, if you were of the other culture, that you would feel comfortable. So I would say that happened in my sophomore year, things did really not return to normal. I would say maybe toward the end of my junior year, really, where we
Wow.
started to, and then the neighborhood started to change too. So um, the percentage of African American students got a little bit higher, and so things started to balance out. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's a long gap for things to kind of get back to somewhat of a normalcy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, because when we talk about even today systemic racism, that's something that unfortunately is inbred in our culture. And speaking honestly, I feel like media really attributes to that. Um, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, of course, where the news stories to me tend to be slanted towards showing negative viewpoints of African Americans, and then the feel good stories are of different cultures. Um, and then a child watching that, or anybody watching that, it can't help but frame you or skew your thinking. So sometimes, without having the personal experience to go beyond what you're hearing, sometimes it's a difficult road to travel when you're slanted into thinking or skewed into thinking a particular way based off of the over and over again account stories that you see. So I can understand where there could be question marks left in other cultural groups. I can understand where the racial, where the question marks can be created when you have such skewed pictures being depicted in the media. That's my opinion.
Um, very, very well spoken. I totally agree, with you on Maryland. It's just it's terrible, how they try to hide things, and it's definitely clear about the one way street of the advantage that some people have in this country. Now with that being said, going back again back to your staying in that time frame of your school days,
Okay.
what was the inspiration, or what was the introduction, I should say, a better choice of words, to your love for reading?
Well, that's a great question. You know what? I came up. It's interesting because I was just talking to somebody just recently about the fact of like my children. They really grew up with the advantage of not having struggling parents or poverty or not knowing that, you know, always having a working class family and coming from, to traditional nuclear family. Well, I grew up poor.
I'm sorry. Let me
So,
interrupt you 1 second. I'm sorry, Marilyn. Can you just move your camera a little bit because you're frozen?
oh, okay.
Like
And is it better now?
not your face is just frozen on the screen. Um,
Okay.
but we can still hear you though. Everything's still, the sound is coming in live, but the picture is delayed.
Okay. What
So
do I
you,
need to do? I said it.
no, I would think just maybe just kind of move your camera around, maybe get up
Okay.
something and then sit back down or something so it can kind
Okay.
of adjust.
Is that better? Did it unfreeze it?
No, it didn't unfreeze it yet. But
Okay.
what I can do is I'll hold on 1 second. I'll go out and come right back in and see if that does it.
Okay.
Do it now.
Okay.
I'm
Is
sorry.
that better?
Yes.
Am I moving?
Yeah, you're
Am I
moving.
still frozen?
Yeah, you were a mannequin.
Oh no.
So I just wanted to make sure your and I didn't want your interview to be messed up when looking, when you see the replay. Okay, but I'm sorry to interrupt you. You were deep in thought.
Okay. No, 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 no. It's okay. Am I still frozen?
No, no, you're good. You're great.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so what I was saying is that, you know, because I grew up, I knew what poverty was. I had to develop a work ethic and things like that. And so, with your question was in that time frame, uh, there was I didn't really necessarily set out to say, oh, I love reading or I love publishing or I love writing. I wanted to go after, because I had experienced poverty, what would make me some money. So I really set out right after high school to, I wound up going to Purdue University, and I said I wanted to study economics. I wanted to be, I felt like an economist that was a great living, you know, either I could segue into accounting, things like that. I was really after money because after having experienced poverty, uh, to me, in my opinion, again, it's hard to live broke. You know, we learn to do it, we learn to survive. But I had experienced that. I didn't want that anymore. And so I was going after what was more lucrative. But I had an experience while I was in high school. I mean, no, well, right after high school. I had an experience with a, a seminar that I took, and you know, you and I know Bridget Wiley,
Right.
and she introduced me to a program called Landmark Educations, and I started my introduction into taking that type of learning, and it wasn't traditional learning. It was more of living your best life, really an inquiry into, are you really living what speaks to you or what calls to you or what's your purpose in life? Well, after all that, the answer was really no. And so, even being young, I set out on the road of, God, why am I really here? You know, really, what's my purpose? And I found I didn't really want to be in that type of inquiry. I found I really didn't want to be a part of the corporate rat race. I didn't know what to do to really that was going to make me some money, get me out of this poverty thing. And so uh, I went on like this sabbatical, so to say. I went on a 30-day where I was quiet. I was seeking to find myself. I didn't watch TV for a while. I was mindful of the things that I ate and things like that, just to kind of get in tune with my purpose. And wound up being introduced to an opportunity to go to New York to the Essence Awards. And while I was at the Essence Awards, I visited the Harlem Museum in New York and got a chance to really see our ancestors and learn more about our culture. And on the way out of the museum, I ran across this book of postcards that just said notable African Americans. And I was embarrassed to say, other than the traditional Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, uh, Martin Luther King, things like that, none of them I hardly knew. I hadn't heard of. And I thought, wow, I don't even know our people. I don't know our culture. I just felt like I was out of tune. And from that, I had heard, you know, it's like children need to know about our culture, who we are. You know, I'm in this exploration of who I am. I need to know my history first.
Right.
And I thought our children need to know. And so from there, the thought came to me, then you create a book, you do the work, you do the, and that was so deep inside of me, that inspiration from that moment, that I said, okay, you know what, God, I felt like it was really God speaking to me as I was seeking direction anyway. I said, okay, God, if this is really you speaking to me, and it was so deep within me, that feeling, I said, then help me. And from there, I started almost like this passion that's beyond words. I started researching our history, just researching our how we got here. You know, the I started looking into the Amistad, you know, the transatlantic slave trade, things like that. Uh, Dr. Bill Gates, he did a series, Wonders of the African World. And there was so much literature that was coming out, so much information coming out about our people. I started doing this research and I wound up writing my first children's book from it. And from that, I thought, after I had done my first book, I thought, wow, I should help other people who have this deep desire to write books. I should help them. I said it. The minute I said that out loud and meant it, it's like a whole world opened up for me. People start coming to me. It's like I was in alignment. I know some people say God, universe, whatever. I don't judge any of however people express God. But the minute it was like I spoke that as a truth for my life, like, wow, I should help this in complete sincerity. I should help other people. People started coming. And that was the start of my publishing company.
Wow,
That's been a little over 20 years ago now.
that is excellent. And if I'm not mistaken, and what was the name of the first book?
Uh, my very first book, and I've done several versions of this, it was Journals from the Past, or an historical look at African American figures. But I did perfect. And that's the Amazon slave ship that is on the cover. And the Amazon, I just wanted to just do a sidebar real quick. The Amazon does cultural tours. So it would travel to different places throughout the US and actually, you know, be on the water someplace. Like it was a matter of fact, it was here right at Lake Michigan at one point, and you could go in and it was like a traveling museum, and you can go in and learn how the slaves were brought over, how they were quartered, and you know how they were put into sections in the ship, and the transatlantic slave trade and things like that. And so that is the picture of the cover. So sometimes people think, oh, that's a book about a boat. No, that was a book about our transportation here, part of our story of how we were here, how we were brought here. And so that was one of my first books. And so what I did is that I did an offshoot of that. So it has an activity workbook. It's different, it's written at different levels. So there's a lot of different versions of that. And for this year, I'm having a whole new line of that being expanded because, as you know, I said it, that we have so much diversity, so much rich heritage inside of our own culture, that now I want to speak to our children having books, history books, where we celebrate the Barack Obamas and the Tiger Woods and the Ben Carlsons of our day. And so where this has focused on more of all of those that have gone on before us, which is a rich legacy in and of itself. The new book, the new line of book will be current day achievers of our time.
I love that. I love that. That's really awesome. And thank you for writing such a great book like that for children, because I totally agree, Marilyn. You know what I mean? It is very essential for children to know about our Black history, because the deeper we go into the future, the more is lost from the past, especially
Mm,
our history. And I know that's purpose. It's done purposely, but it's up to people like ourselves, and especially yourself being the publisher, to continue to ensure the life of you know what I mean, of this,
yes,
you know what I mean,
yes,
of what we've been through. So that's great,
yes.
John. Congratulations on doing something, so worthy with with
Oh, thank
so many different
you.
avenues you can go down. But to start with something, to start with our own culture and our history, that's really powerful. And you deserve the blessings that has came to you, you know what I mean, from that, because that's awesome. That's, and you did it sincerely. So that's what's up.
Well, thank you. And I receive your blessing on that. I receive that into my spirit. And I appreciate that too, because I feel like, this what I write is not from any type of depressing standpoint at all. It is a celebration
Right.
of a people that have achieved and contributed to the United States. This is our country too. It, we are now intertwined. This is my opinion, of course. This is now by bloodshed, by sweat, by tears. This is just as much our country as it is anybody's, by default, so to say. But as much as we have contributed to, with our labor, with our lives, with so much, we fought in armies and really undergird this country. This is 100% our country as well. And so my books really are a gentle breeze of remembrance to our children, to celebrate our rich heritage, that we are a people of tenacity. I hate that so much is lost in regards to education, that our children don't appreciate the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifice, the lives that were lost to gain the thing that was taken from us that was so precious, and that's the ability to read, to write, to be educated. Reading is fundamental. It is our heritage. It is our right. We have a right. And I would love to pour into our community. We have to take advantage of that, because we have died for the right to learn, and that cannot be thrown away, and that cannot be taken lightly. And it is the key to success. We have to read, we have to be good communicators, we have to embrace education, even if it's not the traditional education of the school systems that we've learned. We have to learn to develop trades. We have to learn to develop what will yield us empowerment in whatever walk of life. I don't care if it's being a cook, be the best chef. Learn how to develop those recipes, be the best. And all that is really going to come through education. And Dr. King said it best, we have an obligation to learn. And I'm paraphrasing that, of course, but we have an obligation at this point as a culture to be educated. And I think education is very, very, very important.
Man, it's like Marilyn. We really do know each other, because you like literally read my mind. Because my next question was, why is education a commitment in your life? So I'm going to flip that question. I'm going to ask you, who helped develop education to become a commitment in your life?
Wow. Well, it's interesting I said it, because like I said, like with my children, they had me, they had their father, both of us attended college. But with me, because my parents came from the South, my dad, I don't even think he had a third grade education. My mom barely struggled to get out of high school. So this, I believe, talking about purpose, this was one of the reasons I believe it had to be God, it had to be fate, it had to be destiny. This was something that was just developed, I have to believe, from God within me, because I didn't have parents that even valued education. There would be times, and I'm just being honest, because my parents were wonderful parents. For what they could give me, they did. But my nickname is Peppy. Oh, wow. Thank you. I took care of that. That really touches my heart, because my parents lived with me in the twilight of their years. And one of the things I said to my mom and daddy, you took care of me. Now, in my time of watching you in your twilight years, I want to now take care of you. So my parents were with me. They actually live with me toward the end of their lives. So that is a touching, touching picture. Thank you so much. But like I said, they weren't necessarily educated people, and that's okay, because they didn't have that. So they couldn't give me what they did not have themselves. So they would say, Peppy, let's go fishing, on a school day, because that's what they knew.
Right.
And so they didn't have that push toward education. And it just, I don't know, I can only say it was God that had that drive beyond somebody pushing me. I would say the Holy Spirit, that education is important. And so I had to say, wait a minute. The more I learned about our history, the more I learned about our people, and the price that was paid for us to be able to even have a library card.
Right. Oh, wow.
To pick up a book. Oh, that right there was my push, was my drive, was my fire to say, no. You have to give this all. You have to give this your all, because education, learning came with a high price. And not only that, I saw firsthand, and I got a chance to go to schools where we were expected to be lesser. We were expected to be less educated, less than on every level. And so I had a drive to say, you know what? That's not true. We're not less than. Maybe we are suffering from the remnants. We got some residue from our past, but we are definitely capable. And I set out to just be an expression of that. Like, you know what? No, we can't sit in the classroom and be at the top of the class, even when nobody is the same color as me. I can be the smartest one in this room. And so I set out to just really, not like a vendetta, but to just say within myself, oh no, I'm not less than because my skin is brown. It is not in my DNA to be less than. I just did not embrace that. And so that was the thing that spurred me on, that I believed that we were just as great, just as capable as any other culture to achieve academically. I said, I have lost your volume. I see you talking, but I can't hear you.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was saying that's really special, and me. I'm glad that you had that type of mindset and passed it on to your children and stuff like that. Um, let me see. What event is this from?
Oh, wow. This is back. Oh, there's Bridget. There's our buddy Bridget. I love Bridget. Oh my gosh, she is unstoppable. She is an unstoppable spirit. She's going to succeed whatever she does. This was an event where we were at a school, and I was a speaker for several auditoriums, and we launched. This was back, I would say, in 2000 and I want to say 2007, maybe 2000, maybe a little bit between 2005 2007. We started launching a program called Children's Voices. Okay. And we wanted to give our children a voice to express themselves in reading and writing, predominantly writing. So we invited children to share their poems. We gave them the criteria in which to write their poems and things like that. And we actually published them in a book called Children's Voices. And we have launched that again. Now, I know we're kind of still back a little bit. Thank you. Oh, wow. This was back in 2018. We started to really, this become my heart. So we actually published 30 children authors. We chose them out of hundreds, and we had an event for them. It was super exciting, and we were going to take this nationwide in 2018. And then toward the 2018, I was diagnosed with, it was called an acoustic neuroma. And they found a tumor in my inner ear.
Wow.
They said it probably wouldn't grow. It probably wouldn't get any bigger. They were just going to watch it. And everything that they said would not happen regarding the tumor did happen. And that stalled the program, but we're bringing it back to life again now.
Amen. And thank God that you was able to overcome that. And I actually want to speak a little bit about your ordeal of having, if I'm not mistaken, you survived 2 brain surgeries.
I did. And for that, I said it. I want to say to anybody who God may have you listening in this moment, or you may hear this recording. I want to speak into your spirit. I don't care what you experience, what the case may be. If you have this calling, if you feel led that God has meant something for your life, I don't care how long it took for you to get there, it will be. It will be. And even though it may be slowed in our time, God's time is the perfect time, and it will come to pass. Just keep moving. Just stay on the court of life, and it will happen. So with this big nationwide program, one of the biggest things our company had ever done, 2018, our plans are to launch this in 2019, the end of 2018. I go in, I'm having some sinus issues. And so I go into the doctor because I'm just thinking I'm having some sinus issues. Maybe I need the antibiotic or whatever. I got thinking I had a sinus infection. And they said, well, we see something. And they ran a CAT scan, MRI. And then like I said, they diagnosed it as an acoustic neuroma. What that meant was a small tumor on the inside of my ear. And it wasn't pressing against my brain or anything like that. So they said, you may be good to go. Well, March of 2019, I started to have some issues really all up until March of 2019. But I was still under the impression of, no, let's just watch it. Let's just see. They're kind of nonchalant about it. I'm going to be nonchalant about it too. I'm not going to give it any energy. And so in March, I was hospitalized because my whole right side of my face swelled. I did not know why. I had the worst headache I ever had. Went to the ER, and they ran some more tests, and they said the tumor's growing. And it's pressing against my brain stem. Basically, they said, get your affairs in order, and we're going to operate. And initially, the surgery was supposed to be about 5 hours. They gave me a whole bucket list of things that could happen, but they said probably would not happen. Right. That I could be paralyzed, that, of course, death was the last thing on the list, but, they're like, we should be able to go in. You could lose your hearing, and on my right side. And everything that they said could happen, but probably would not happen, is exactly what did happen. I wound up coming out of the surgery. The surgery was between 17 to 21 hours. I was only supposed to be in the ICU, I think, like 3 days. I was in there over 2 weeks. And I wound up with a brain bleed, or it was actually called a brain fluid leak. And so then they had to go back in for a second surgery. This time they had to close up. They actually cut my right ear, pulled it down into my face, and went back in and repaired the leak, sewed my right ear back on, but in the process had to sew the hole in my ear up. So came out on life support and things like that from the surgery. And oh, thank you. And I basically left from the surgery. When I looked in the mirror, I said, they had completely shaved the whole side of my head. It was just supposed to be a little patch of hair that was supposed to be gone. I'm thinking it's not going to be a big deal, just surgery. Um, but my whole right side was paralyzed. And uh, I'm having to now learn to walk straight again after the surgery. I didn't even recognize myself after the surgery, but there was God with me that said, when I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even recognize myself. And I just had this peace that God would heal me, that would be restored, and to believe God for the process of it all, that all of it was working together for my good, that He had my back, that it was going to be okay. And through that, I had probably one of some of the mightiest spiritual lessons in my life. And now I still, because the brain takes a long, long, long time to recover, to repair itself. I'm still going through the process really of healing, but everything is coming back. And we are even starting this program again, the Children's Voices program, along with a lot of other things that we had stopped before the surgery. All of it is coming back.
Wow, man, that is such a blessing. Now I'm so grateful that you are recovering and making a full recovery, and I pray that you do make a full recovery indeed, and that what I mean, your perseverance is just unbelievable. You know what I mean, and I know that it had to be like very traumatic. You know what I mean, not just traumatic on the physical side, but mentally to be able to have to look in the mirror, like you say, and being a woman, I can't imagine, what I'm saying. So hair and all that stuff, all the little things that you all do to keep yourself confident at the end of the day. So I'm sure that that was difficult, but I'm glad that you seem like the old Marilyn that I know. Your hair is still pretty, you
Thank
look pretty,
you.
you feel pretty, and everything. So I'm very glad that you're still here. And with your permission, may I show the before and after that you have posted?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so this is just like traumatic and just like and I didn't even know you were going through this, and I really want to apologize. Me being someone that I know personally, and I didn't check on you, and I'm really sorry that you went through this, and
Oh, that's okay.
I didn't even
Oh,
know.
that's now this is after the first surgery. After the second surgery, um, that's where I it's just
That's
it
amazing.
was it was really the second surgery. I've never been so close to death.
Mm.
Um, I wrote a book. I know you'll probably share it, but I wrote a book while I was in intensive care. I felt to finish it. Um, See how the body can restore itself.
Yeah, that is amazing. Like you went from
Yeah,
here to
May to
here in
July.
May in just
And
a
you know
couple
what?
of months.
I I said it. Do you know this is because I followed the things I felt like God was telling me to do in regards to my healing. Because I was on so many medications, so much stuff that I felt like it was starting to make my body toxic.
Mm.
And I got sicker when I left the ICU. And to return home, I just thought, I'm not going to make it through this. I'm not going to make it through this. And I said, God, what do I need to do? The doctors had given me their best. I need you now, God, to speak to me and get me through this, be my healer. And one of the things, and I wrote all these down, that all these things down that God told me to do. But one of these things was that my body had become toxic with all the medication. And so I started drinking a lot of alkaline water, doing some things that would allow my system to flush on a daily basis to get these toxins out of my body. And when I did the things that God told me to do and I could see the results, the stuff being flushed from my body, I started to feel better. And I started to be able to move and to get sit up out of sit up and things like that. And I moved, even though sometimes I didn't feel like it, I moved my body for circulation, and God started giving me directions continually on the things to do. One of the things in the book too, and I never knew about this. I don't know that this is not traditional. I have no scientific proof about this. Oh, thank you. I have no scientific proof about this. But one of the things that came to me during this time was the energy of frequency healing. And so when I tapped into that, which I did not know how to find, it all came to me. There would be frequency sounds that you could listen to. I didn't even know this. And it would be frequencies to heal the brain.
Oh, wow.
Well, they were just sounds. What would it hurt for me to listen to some sounds? Right. Like listening to music. Right. So I would go to bed at night and I would turn on these sound, just on YouTube. You can Google brain frequencies, and this whole list comes up, and you can choose different types of frequencies. And I would listen to that. I said, honestly, I believe this with all my heart. It started to restore my brain, where I could see the degradation in memory and cognitive abilities and learning. It all started to be restored.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible.
To this day, I listen to them. I listen to them. I listen to the frequencies. It doesn't hurt. What could it hurt? It's just sounds. And so I'm careful. I read to see which sounds I'm going to listen to, but I listen to them. And I shared in the book, some of the YouTube links that are available for you to tap into. And it started to bring me out. So like I said, there's no scientific proof of that. But all I know, I'm getting the results of it.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. It's all about the results.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm familiar with, different sounds when it comes to frequency with megahertz and things of that nature.
Yes, exactly.
Different levels of frequencies can give you a different emotion, and it can make you angry, it can make you happy. But I was not aware that they had brain frequencies that could, do what it's doing for you. And thank God they have that as an outlet, because I'm glad that that it's been a positive source for you.
And I said, just so you'll know, and for your viewers, there are frequencies that help you unlock the brain potential of learning. So I would play those as well. That it's called genius frequencies, and so it helps you to unlock because we just use a small percentage of our brain capacity, right. And so there's frequencies for that as well.
I'm on it. you could have never told me that, Marilyn.
Yes, it's there. It is there. It is there.
Something I want to ask you, and I think this is beautiful, especially what you've endured and survived through. The fact that you have the commitment and you want to have the goal of reaching your doctorate degree.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was in my master's program when I was diagnosed. I had to leave school.
Mm.
while I was working on my master's. And I remember one of the professors said, you know, chances are you probably won't go back, because I guess she had, you know, had heard about the type of tumor that I had before. And basically she was saying, you know, most people don't recover to the point of being able to finish out their education. But I really feel like when I finish this phase right now of going back into, of course, Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter, really. And so there are some books that I have that I want to complete now, that I'm going to complete with it before the end of this year. When I finish all those things, that bucket list that's really important to me, I'm going to go back and finish out through my doctorate degree. Not only finish out my master's, because I'm only like a couple classes away from having my master's. My plan at the time was to go straight into the doctorate program in the fall of the same year. So I would have had my master's last year, and then that fall of that year, I was planning on getting my PhD. But that will still be accomplished because I'm so close. I'm so close.
Absolutely. Keep going. Definitely keep
Oh,
going.
thank you.
I think that's something
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Now, you know, most definitely, I wouldn't have the pleasure of even knowing you if it wasn't for the beautiful Bridgette Wiley. So, shout out
Yes.
to Bridgette Wiley, publisher and publicist for the legendary, iconic, one and only Roy Ayers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I remember the time period when I was introduced to you, but I initially met you on my own prior to Bridgette because I walked into your office in Park Forest, I believe it was, because back when I was in my young 20s, or, you know, I want to say going back to like I was like almost 20 or something like that. And I was inspired to write a book. And so I had knew about your office, whether I had seen it. And I walked in and you gave me like a little tutorial about what you do and everything like that. And despite I didn't never go forward with you, you know what I mean, I was happy to find out later on in life that you know you were and Bridgette were great friends, and then she introduced me all of us to each other and everything, and that's how I was formally introduced to you to where we know each other. But yeah, I definitely recall you from when I was 20 years ago. I walked into your office and
Wow. It's
spoke
a
to you about
small
your book.
world.
Yeah, and spoke
Yeah.
about your book. So I love that, you know, 20 some years later now, you know, I have my own show and I can, you know, have the pleasure,
Yes.
you know, interviewing you about your timeline. So that's beautiful.
Yes. I said, can I speak to something regarding that?
Please,
I
please.
want to say, if you have those gifts and those talents and that passion for writing, poetry, short stories, whatever it may be, don't let anybody dissuade you from that. Because even where you can develop a stronger storyline, or you can always get some help or whatever, that passion is so important. And the thing about publishing, and I want to say this, it's a business. And when you are a new author, don't even take it personal. You could have, I mean, be awesome and still get a lot of rejections, still get a lot of no's. Oh, it's not this, it's not that. What it is really is that it may not be marketable or lucrative enough for that particular company because they want to increase their bottom line. So you have to know where the creativity line stops and the business begins. If a company does not feel like you have a big enough draw to make money, it becomes a risk. So don't equate your gifts, your talents, your creativity with business. And don't own that you are not good enough because a company who is out for dollars says no to you, because it might not be, and chances are, I promise you, 9 times out of 10, it's not your talent, it's not your writing. It is about money. If you are not a celebrity, if you are not something that will turn a profit, or you don't have a following that will turn a profit right away, that is where you're going to get your rejection. In my opinion, that is what you're going to get your rejection from. And I don't mind even quoting this. I'm going to go out on the limb because I did read this. Zig Ziglar, if anybody knows him, he's a world renowned bestseller. I mean, just really an outstanding businessman. And he wrote a book and that became a bestseller. And I think it got back to him that some lady said, "Oh, the bestseller, how can he be the bestseller? He's not even a great writer." He said, "Be clear about this. I didn't say I was the best writer. I said I was the best seller." Everything is about selling. So if your book is not marketable enough, you have to be willing to invest in yourself. Put your money aside. If you believe in your work, you believe in your talents, you believe in your creativity, and you invest in yourself and you make it happen on your terms, you take control of your own destiny and you bring it to pass because you're worth it. Don't let some company who's trying to increase their bottom line dictate your worthiness, because your worthiness does not lie there. It lies in your passion, your deep down intuitive feeling that this is what I'm supposed to do. Then you invest in yourself and you make it happen, and God will show you how.
Amen. Amen to that. And sometimes I think you and Bridget is related.
Huh?
I said amen to that. And sometimes I think you and Bridget are related. That passion that you speak with, it reminds me of her so much, spending so much time with Bridget. So I think that's beautiful, and I'll take that to heart, and I really appreciate that, honestly, Marilyn. And I will take, I take your words, sincerely.
And to anybody who's listening, any artist, I don't care what it is, any artist, if you feel like this is your gift, you invest in yourself and make it happen. God will show you how. And don't worry about rejections from somebody else who all they care about is, can you make them a lot of money?
That's right. That's right. Before we get into the next topics, I want to just thank everyone that's here live watching the show. You know what I mean? We're going on 57 minutes, so I appreciate you all. Staying tuned in. There's much love for platform you watching from, whether it's my YouTube, whether it's several destinations on Facebook. Again, this is Celebrity Interviewer. I said it, a show, and we're live with CEO of Lumen-us Publishing House. And we're here with Marilyn Foster, and she's been a publisher for over 20 years. And so I want to ask you, Marilyn, a little bit about your experience, our experience on the Reuse show hosted by Linda Washington. So shout out to Linda Washington.
Yes, definitely. Bridget and Linda, yes. Wonderful people. Powerful women. Oh my goodness. You know what? I love women. Women have been labeled as big catty sometimes, and we allow ourselves to be objectified sometimes in some cases. But we have a lot of strong, beautiful women, especially women of color, because of our past, sometimes who are single moms, and they have brought up the rears. They have been in the trenches, and I've had the privilege and the honor of being friends with such powerful women, powerful, beautiful women. And Law is another one. She has her book out based on her relationship with her mom. He'll Turn Your Tears to Diamonds. Her mom was Pastor E.R. Allen, and she has a beautiful story about that that she got out in her book, and she told her story.
Right. And I'm sorry, I had actually spoke about the Reuse show, but this particular picture is from her book release, correct?
Yes, it was from her book release. It wasn't from the show. It was from her book release. When she first launched it, she had a beautiful book launching party, and I had the honor of being at. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, but I do remember us on the Renew You show. Yeah,
Yes.
there it is. Ryu show. Yes, back in 2018. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So now
Yes.
let me ask you this because didn't you just say that you had your surgery that happened in 18, but that was toward the end
This
of
was the
18?
20. Yeah, and you know what? I was diagnosed with the tumor. They found the tumor at the end of 2018. So
Wow.
this is the beginning of 2018. Yes. So just a few months after that, yeah, I started to suffer with the signs of the tumor.
That
Right
is
at, yeah.
amazing.
Hmm.
And no sign, you had no idea it was coming or what you
Yeah.
were going to be going through.
Yeah. And you know what? That was one of the chapters in my book. Basically, healing from unexpected illness. It's different when you get a diagnosis and you're kind of going through it, but when it's just out of the blue,
Right.
it's like, oh, by the way, we see something,
Mm.
and that something winds up changing your whole life.
Right.
Like even now, I feel the pressure. I still got something going on my right side because, like I said, it takes the brain a long time to heal.
Mm.
My face, you can see, is still not level. It's not parallel. I forgot the medical terminology.
I can't tell you look beautiful.
Oh, that is sweet. But
I
if
can't.
when I smile, you can see my smile is crooked. And I actually was going to, in my next book, I was going to call a chapter "Beautiful Crooked Smile," because I learned this external is just a house for the spiritual. It
Right.
should never, ever limit us. And I know it does because we live in a culture of, if you're not beautiful, if you're not this, but this can be altered at any second. An automobile accident, a
Mm.
fire. If this defines who you are and your powerfulness, then you really, in my opinion, weren't on true, authentic power to begin with,
Mm.
because this can never say or define, or you should not allow it to define your greatness. It's got to extend way beyond the physical. And I had to be okay with, my, even though my face was twisted beyond recognition, it's still not 100%. I can still feel the pressure in my right side and see that my face is ill figured, ill proportioned, even though it's coming back. It's been, this will be going into 2 years now, and it's still not balanced. And it's okay. I can't allow that to define me. I can't allow it to define my greatness. I cannot allow it to define, I won't allow it. I can't allow it if I want to. I can't allow it. But I'm not going to allow this external to define who I am internally. I'm
Mm.
beyond this that can be changed in any given moment.
That is
So,
so true.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I applaud those that, in spite of, we see the ones that, you know, limbs may be gone, and they're great. They're not being stopped. They win Olympics. This what do they call Special Olympics and things like that. They're not defined by the outer man. They realize something greater drives us, that inward.
Mm. Yeah, and
So
I am in complete agreements with you, you know what I mean? And I just want to second what you're saying that everyone that's watching, please, like Marilyn said, do not let, you know what I mean, your complexion, your
yes,
facial features, your teeth,
yes,
you know what I mean, any of that, your hair, you know what
yes,
I'm saying, acne, anything,
yes,
any type of blemishes or any of that things of that nature define you know what I mean, who you are, you know what I mean, because it's so much deeper, like she said, you know what I mean. I'm totally agree. There's a spirit that's inside of us, each of us, you know what I mean, and that's what is what you see, you know what I mean. But some people only see people for the skin on the, you know, like you say, the shell.
Yeah, just the show. That's all it is. And especially as Black women, oh my God, the stuff that we do to simulate beauty, what we consider beauty. And now we got this gorilla glue in our hair and things like that because we're trying to simulate uh, what has been a picture of beauty for us. Oh my God, if we could get to that, we're so much greater than any of that, you know, um, that would be a true testimony of power of I would love to be able to help any woman, especially a Black woman, know, don't let none of that define you. You, and like you said, I said you can achieve greatness just the way you are, just the
Right.
way you are. And I mean, to me, you still, you strive to be your best. We strive to be healthy and feed our bodies well and be take care of ourselves and things like that, but not by this external picture of beauty that we're trying to live up to. That's been pasted before us.
Mm. Mm. Hey, I could talk about this with you all day, but because it's such a meaningful topic, and you know, it's so important. I'm glad you know you spoke up about this to remind people that again, that you know, despite you know the conditions that you're still healing from, that you know it does not define you, and that you know it's not going to stop you from reaching your doctorate degree. It's not going to
Yeah.
stop you from continuing to write books, helping other people publish books, and everything. And I know you're also going back to when you are really big into helping kids, and I love this e-learning book that you
Oh
created.
yes. Oh my
That's
God.
really nice.
Yes.
That's really beautiful. Can you
Oh,
talk about that, Marilyn?
oh my goodness. Do you know what? And there's three things. If we could do it quickly, I hope I can fit this
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
This right here is my heart. God has blessed me. My daughter has given birth to my first grandson, my only grandchild, really, right now. But he is, oh my God, he is just a little doll baby.
Yeah.
And I watched him because, I'm in recovery. I'm still in recovery.
Mm.
So, because like I said, I could not walk. I couldn't hardly do anything. Couldn't even lift. Uh, I mean, I could hardly do nothing when I came home. So I had to be with my daughter so she could take care of me. And so while I'm there, she's pregnant. And in the meantime, well, she's giving birth. And so I've had the chance because I can't lift anything hardly still. And so being home with her, and his name is Amir, and Amir, I had a chance to watch my grandbaby.
Mm.
And this little guy, I would say at 12 months old, he would be so engrossed in these little alphabet songs. And I'm looking at his little mind like a little sponge. And I was like, oh my goodness. So he would try to little sing the tunes and stuff like that. But the alphabet songs, it just keeps right along and it can be kind of fast paced. And I
Right.
thought, wow, I need to slow things down to really make sure he's really understanding these alphabets and getting these letters and stuff like that. Because I could see his little brain was like a little sponge. So I just did it because I was home with him and I did it for him. I said, I am going to create a little book for him where we can slow down and go back and forth to the letters. I can see which ones he knows and things like that. Um, kind of introduce some of the numbers and shapes and all that. And so I developed this ebook for him where he could go through the alphabet and start to recognize the letters. And I would go, and he would be so excited. And then I put pictures of him throughout. And I would put his name so he could have that name, recognize his name, have name recognition, and would spell his name and things like that. I said it. Right now, at 17 months, he knows his alphabet inside and out.
What?
He knows how to count to 10. He recognizes all the numbers. He knows the shapes and he knows the colors. It is amazing.
That is.
And so I after I did that for him and I saw the results, which really floored me, I said, of course, I got to share this. So for $7.95, we take we will take your child's, put them on the cover. Let them see themselves on the cover of a book, their pictures throughout the book, and create this learning ebook for them and send it back to you where they could just work with your baby and they could put it on their phone, make it really easy, their tablet, any mobile device. And for $7.95, customize their own book where they can learn from.
That is a really
So that's
brilliant
exciting.
idea, Marilyn.
Huh?
That's a really brilliant idea. Great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And so that is being launched, as a matter of fact, this week. Well, so it's a perfect timing. Thank you so much. It's being launched this week on my website. I did not want any of my authors to compete with the things that I do because, in addition to being a publisher, since I'm a writer too, I took my writing and separated it out from my other authors because they deserve all the time that we can give them. And so my website is called Peppy's Pen. That's my nickname, Peppy, Peppy, because when I was born, the nurse said to my mom, this is what my mom told me. She said, "Oh, what a peppy baby." And so my mom started saying Peppy. Oh, I love that. And so that has been my nickname through life. So almost everybody calls me Peppy. Bridget knows me as Peppy. And so and Linda. Oh, thank you. And so that is still underway. But like I said, next week it will be fully launched and you can order just for $7.95, no shipping, no handling, because it's an ebook. You can have your baby's face on the cover. And like I said, even on your phone, right now, he knows how to use the phone and scroll up and down and say his ABCs and things like that. It is so exciting. And if I could, I said there's two other books that mean so much to me. Drew Sidora, if you know her from Housewives of Atlanta, she's on that show now, but she's done a lot of different movies. I had the privilege of meeting her back in 2017, and she told me about her mom and her dad and the sacrifice her dad made because he was a medical doctor who was committed to our community. And he would service the African American children who could not afford, mothers or fathers could not afford for them to have a physical to go back to school, but they needed that the immunization and the records to go back, get back into school. So they had to have the physical, and some of them didn't have insurance. Well, he would service them free. And he did that for years. And they would have this big, toward the fall, on the south side of Chicago. Some people don't know about this. He would have this big, almost like a festival, where your kids can come and get book bags and pencils and get school supplies, get their immunizations, and get all that free so your kids could start school on time. And that was Drew Sidora's dad, Dr. Robert Jordan. And when she told me the story about the things her dad had done, and they wanted to do a story on his life, and they asked me to write it, to do his biography, I was honored. So it's called From Suspenders, because he came from super poverty. Oh my God. Oh, oh boy, you on top of things. Wow. So, huh? Yes, no, you are. You're not trying. You are. So that book is From Suspenders to Stethoscope, the Dr. Jordan story. If you uh, are ever down or a question, can you do it? Read this, because I'm telling you, for what he came through and to become a doctor and triumph and be successful, it was my inspiration, as far as, oh, you can do anything. And so the Dr. Jordan story is about his triumph over poverty, over the sudden death of his sister. That was his inspiration for becoming a doctor, because he was impoverished. And, you know, he felt like his sister died prematurely because they didn't have the money to care for her. And so it talks about the South and coming up in the South. And it has been a love of mine. That is a special project for me. That has my heart. And Drew Sidora, her husband, her family, awesome, awesome, awesome people. And I'm actually doing a project with her sister, Allison Jordan, that's going to come out later this year, or even perhaps in 2022, early 2022, that she has a story to tell herself.
Okay.
So,
and I'm sorry, and what's the name of that book?
That one is called Life Profoundly. That's a coming soon book. But the other book that's really important to me, and it's a trilogy. I never had a chance to get into like suspense type, drama type books until I ran into this author, L.J. Mitchell. It was called My Life Hidden Secrets.
Okay.
This book, there you go again on top of things. This trilogy, if you are a reader, now it's 392 pages, but it's 392 pages that will have you on the edge of your seat. I promise you. Oh my goodness. And so I'm a contributing writer for that book. And that I know will be turned into a movie. And the second and the third book will be coming out later this year. But it is something for any reader. Oh my God. It is a tale. We have no gaps, really sound writing. I love sound storylines. It is a storyline that you will enjoy.
Okay, great, great, and congratulations on your new books and co-authoring that book as well. Um, and I really like the name of that suspenders to stethoscope. That,
Yes.
that's really catchy. Going back to what you were saying, and sellable items and stuff with catchy names, and making things marketable. And that's a very marketable book. I see that right now.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I want to make sure whenever you're ready. Remember, you and I talked about this. I want to give you copies of, just as a thank you for allowing me to be self-expressive on your show. And I know you're just doing great things, and it's just a small way to just say thank you, to honor you, with what I can give. If you would let me, I would be honored for you to allow me to share my works with you, just as a gift to say thank you.
Oh, absolutely, Marilyn. I'll take it with open arms. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful. You know what I mean? Because
Wonderful.
I look at you as someone special, and any writing from your spirit, you know what I mean? That's a blessing. So, I love to read that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I think you'll love it. I think you'll love it. And I want to encourage anybody to, as you pursue what God has given you to do. I mean, God will open doors. I've had a chance to work with pastors. Pastor Hannah published his book. Uh, Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White, I published his book. Um, I mean, just so many celebrities and key people that I honor, that really have achieved so much. God will open the doors. All we have to do is just keep moving forward in excellence. That's the thing too. We want to give our best to whatever we do. we learn at different levels at different times. So whatever is your best for this moment, it's always room to grow. But whatever is your best at this moment is what God will bless.
I heard that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it works. And I just want to add to a couple of names of some celebrities and pastors that you have worked with as well. You've also worked with actor Robert North, the wife
Yes.
NFL player Daphne Bell, correct?
Yes, absolutely. The wife of if anybody remembers NFL player, he was a Bears player, Todd Bell
Right. Okay.
of the
Fine.
Chicago Bears. His wife, oh my goodness, her book is fantastic. It's called uh, let me see. The Pain Didn't Kill Me.
Mm.
The pain did not kill me, and that's because if anybody remembers, Todd Bell died of a sudden heart attack.
Oh,
So she dealt with her husband dying suddenly. Her mom passed of cancer. Her sister, who she was very close to, passed with breast cancer. And the title, I mean, they were all close deaths in time. And the title of her book, The Pain Did Not Kill Me. And she survived all that. And so now she's an advocate for women's health, for breast cancer, and for heart awareness, doing making sure you're tested, and especially men taking care of themselves, being proactive on regarding your health. So she's very, very strong in the health component in regards to that. And you can look at her. She's a beautiful woman. She practices what she preaches as far
okay.
as being healthy and heart disease.
Okay. Shout out to her because that's definitely another meaningful book that's deserves
Yes,
to be on the shelf. That can
yes. And you'll
definitely.
have a copy of it as well.
Okay. Okay. Go
Mhm.
ahead, Marilyn.
I'll make
Go
sure you have a
ahead.
copy of it as well, and including Secretary White's book, which should be in every library. This is a phenomenal man. Oh my goodness, very, very powerful. Has done so much for the Black community. Well, for all communities, but for the Black community, well. And people know him from really the Jesse White tumblers, but he's so much larger than that. I mean, he's awesome, awesome individual.
Hmm. Okay. And thank you very much for that gesture. You know what I mean? I'm very grateful. I want to also add, you worked with Apostle H.D. Wilson
Yes, yes, yes,
and
yes. Apostle
Apostle
Wilson.
Willie Wooten.
Yes. Oh my goodness. He's out of Apostle Willie Wooten is out of New Orleans. And he has this theory of Black America being under a curse, under a spiritual curse. Now, his book is controversial, but this is what he feels like God showed him, and he explains why in his book. And he believes that through going back to God and turning back to God, uh, the African American community will be empowered and have God's favor as never before if we do the things that God is calling us to do as a people. And so that is his book, Breaking the Curse of Black America. And very, very, once again, very powerful man. And then, of course, my pastor, Pastor Andrew Singleton, here on the South Side, mega church, if anybody knows of Victory Apostolic, awesome pastor, and he tremendous role model, businessman, and a beautiful man to follow spiritually. Very, if I could use a word to describe him, um, his modern forward thinking, not embracing all these laws of old, and everything you do, God's going to strike you down and send you to hell.
Hmm.
He's left all that. I mean, he doesn't embrace that. He teaches the word. He teaches the word. He teaches God's love. Of course, he condemns sin. According to the Bible, he teaches the Bible. But I had the honor of publishing his book as well. And so, yes, he is a very, very powerful pastor, powerful man, and powerful man of God.
Okay, that's beautiful. And thanks for sharing that with us, along with just your whole like I said, your timeline. Everything you've been through, you've overcome, and done so many things, Miss Foster. And I'm just very grateful to have had you on the show today, for us to be able to speak about your achievements, how you have overcome miracles, how you overcome racism. You know what I mean? You have not let anything stop you. You are now a new grandmother. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to your daughter as well for for her new baby. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm just very happy for you, happy to know you. And again, if for all those that are watching, you are here again. We were hearing live on Celebrity Interviewer. I said at the show, and I'm hearing live with CEO of Lumen-us Publishing House. She's been a publisher for over 20 years, helping people in the community, just really saving lives. Because I don't say saving lives because what you're doing for people, Marilyn, is really that indeed. Because that could be something that someone needs, you know what I mean, to just release that pain and put it into a book and put it into words. You have given people and helping people to give them an outlet to be able to let me see bag, or what I mean, put to be able to condense, you know what I mean, their stress, and just what I mean, I don't know, help me out, but you know what I'm
I
talking
know
about.
what you mean. Thank
I
you.
didn't got
I
I didn't got
received that.
too.
Yes. You know what? It is a form of a ministry. It is my gift back to the world, for what God has given me to do. I have not hid my talents in the earth. What
Right.
I've done is I have put them in the earth for them to grow back and to, just like a tree, to grow and bloom and flower and to give shade and provide even houses for the birds. So it's like if we give back our talents that way, whatever gift it is, I don't care what it is. I think about skateboarders. There are world renowned skateboarders. Whatever you do, if you are the best, your gift will make room for you
Mm.
and the world will know your name. You don't have to just play ball. You don't have to just produce music, even though that's a beautiful thing too. But whatever your gift is, look at these. If you sew, look at these designers, Gucci. I mean, we have so many we can name. I don't care what it is. If you give your best to it, your gifts, your callings, your talents will make room for you. The world will know your name, even if it's your world. It doesn't have to be the world as we know it, it could be your world. It will make room for you and you will make a difference. So it's just tapping into God, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What is my role in all this? And in my opinion, when we tap into that and give our best to it, we are rewarded tenfold. And I see that in what your show right now. So I thank you and I honor you.
Thank
And
you,
and
Marilyn.
and I lift you up.
I appreciate all of that, and I love you, Marilyn. Much love to you and all your family, and to all your future
Same here.
endeavors.
Love to you.
Thank you, and everything you're working on, and I just wish you the best. And you already know
Thank
you have my support right here at I Said in Management. And usually our names will be on here, but for some reason, I think StreamYard did some type of update because last night I believe I didn't have no name neither. So I don't know what's going on. I apologize, but usually
you. It is
it's
no problem.
an option for us to have our names, but I don't know. But
Oh,
nevertheless,
it's there.
right.
I see it.
You can find Marilyn's books at thehotreads.com, along with you can find her ebook for children, which can be customized for your child or grandchild,
Yes.
at www.peppiespen.com
Yes.
in that
Yeah.
order.
Just for $7.95. And
Right.
your baby can have a book of their own.
That's an awesome price too.
Yeah. Well, we wanted it that people could be able to afford it because it was so important. I think it's such a beautiful thing. My grandson just smiles when he sees his face, as he sees the little pictures come up. And I said, there's a mirror. And his face just lights up. It's exciting. I love it. I love it. I love him. And so, yeah, he's my inspiration behind that. But thank you again. I said it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And I'm not, I forget if I put this picture up or not,
Oh, yes.
but
Yes,
this
those are the
also,
children. Yes, those are the children we authored. And those were from three different schools, hundreds of selections, and those were the ones that were selected. Um, and though they weren't selected by our company, but they were actually selected from other principals
mm,
who were the judges. And they did an awesome job. They did an
mm,
awesome job. And I know our time is, because we've been on here a while, but it was interesting because most of their concerns was really about violence, gun violence and things like that. And so a lot of their writings spoke to the perfect world would be a world without guns and of course the violence that we see in our streets today. That was like the common consensus.
mm. And with that being said, I'm glad you said that because I actually forgot to speak on something very important because
Mhm.
unfortunately, right before our interview today, if I can call you Peppy,
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Absolutely.
right before our interview, I didn't know if you heard, but it was actually a shooting right here in Chicago, unfortunately. Um, and to my knowledge, four people just lost their life in the Chicago in the Park Manor of Chicago, Illinois. So it was something
Mm,
some house party I just saw online before our interview, and they was going live, and four people lost their lives earlier in Chicago. So definitely want to send my prayers to everyone, because we do not live in a perfect world. And, again, if
no.
it was a perfect world, we wouldn't have all this bloodshed and, our
Yeah.
moms crying and,
Yeah.
people, losing family, friends, and members. It's just a lot unnecessariness, you know what I mean? So put the
Yeah.
guns down and, what I mean, lift someone up, like, Marilyn saying, just let's just work together, you know what I mean? Let's not just be so quick to be angry and temperamental and be quick to be just, say less and just listen because it's about communication and that can result to less violence at the end of the day. We could just have a better understanding for each other,
Yes,
in my opinion.
absolutely.
In my opinion.
Absolutely. Well stated. I agree.
Yes, ma'am. And again, thank you so much for everything you doing and the positivity in the world and, and here in the community of Chicago. So, much love to you, in the Chicagoland area, that is. So much love to you. And you already know, like I say, you have my support right here in Isaidit Management. And, I look forward to, being able to read some of your books.
Oh, thank you so
All
much.
your books. Any books that you donate, I'm going to make sure I put the time in and read.
Oh, thank you so much. And you know what? Just so you know, some of those books are Audible books too. So if you're really busy people and you just need to listen to it because you just don't have the time to sit down and read, you can't steal away, it's no problem. They're Audible too. And even the children's books, we're making it where they're Audible too. They'll come out, they're Audible versions as well. We tell you exactly what to do to get that Audible so you won't even have to absorb the cost of that. We show you what to do on your computer so that even your son and your babies, they will be able to hear as a reinforcement their name and how to spell it and just the alphabet. So they're all audible as well.
That's a great initiative too for it to make it all audible because that works great for me for someone in my life.
Yeah.
I do a lot of moving and I do always tell myself, Michael, read more, read more. I even have it written on my wall, Marilyn, but I still don't do it.
Yeah. Because sometimes you just don't have the time. sometimes you're busy, you just don't have the time, but you can still get the knowledge through Audible books. So yeah, definitely. In the future, we just want to make sure all of our new releases will be Audible, so that people that are busy, they can still enjoy the entertainment of them or the information of them. If they're books that are on learning, that they're able to get that information even while they drive, because or riding the train home or whatever, where they may not have to have time to just sit and read, because they're being aware of their surroundings, or if you're driving or whatever. And so Audible books, I know, work for people, and so we want to give them what works.
Absolutely. And I have one last picture to share as we get up out of here to represent
Mhm.
your team line and just to further congratulate you. And just want to say I'm very proud of you.
Oh,
Everything,
yes, yeah.
everything that you've done and all of your accomplishments. And congratulations to you. Very proud of you, Marilyn Foster.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You have made my heart smile. Thank you so much for your gift to us. Thank you.
Definitely. And blessings to you. And again, what I mean, we were here live with celebrity publisher Marilyn Foster. So thank you so much. It's been really great. What I mean, I've really had fun. Just hearing about your life. What I mean, I really enjoy hearing about what people go through and has overcome. So it's really beautiful. And again, my prayers to you and towards your recovery, your full recovery. And I welcome you to keep in touch.
Thank you.
Okay.
And have a wonderful week, everyone. Have a blessed week. My heart to yours.
Thank you. Blessings, blessings.
Okay.
And all right. If you have time, I welcome you to stay around because actually how I end the show, I share videos that people have sent in of shout outs to the show. But if you ever run out of time, it's okay. But otherwise,
No, 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 no. I'll stay and watch that. Yes, definitely.
okay. So again, I just want to say again, thank you. And as we get into closing the show, this is how I always try to end it with all the celebrity interviews and saying thank
Okay.
you
Thank
to
you.
everybody that has, sent in videos. Thank you.
I support, I said it, deport. I support, I said it, deport. I said, I support it, I said, deport.
I support the legendary warrior all day long.
Yeah, I think y'all know who that is. That's the one and only.
Yes.
That's the ultimate experience.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What you say?
I said I support you too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mhm.
Right, bro. Yeah.
Yo, it's the originator Jazzo, y'all. Make this real quick, man. Shout out to Isaidit Management. Doing it big.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to Jazzo, the legendary, the originator. His new video just dropped called Marcy. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all go and visit that. It's actually his love for Marcy projects that he grew up in New York. So there's a really beautiful video too. He really nailed it.
Yo, what's good? This your boy Who Knows. Letting you know this Wednesday, December 16th, tune in. I'll be with the celebrity interviewer Isaidit the Poet for the Isaidit Show, sponsored by the famous Chicago Bridge magazine. Yo, 2020 been a hectic year for everybody. I've been blessed to still reach a few accomplishments, get a little bit of acknowledgement, and we're going into 2021 hungry and heavy. And we're going to discuss all that Wednesday, December 16th on the Isaidit Show. HFE, baby, who working like us.
That's right. Shout out to Who Knows.
Hey, yo, what up? This is Dead Wilder, music exec, music manager, entrepreneur. Shout out to the celebrity interviewer. Isaidit the Show, sponsored by the famous Chicago Bridge magazine. All right, prosper.
Much
Awesome.
respect. Much respect and appreciate Mr. Dan Weiler. And he's actually the co-founder of Supreme, co-owner of Supreme Burger that's down there in Atlanta. So if you ever in Atlanta, Maryland, make sure you pick up some of them They got veggie burgers too, turkey burgers, all types of great food.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's happening? This your boy Cam Jones, man. Shout out to the Celebrity Interviewer I Said It show, sponsored by the world famous Chicago Bridge magazine. Y'all tap in. Dope content, dope interviews, and you might even see me on that song.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to say that he was, both him and his cousin Phelps Jones was on the show. You know what I mean? We had a great time, very memorable. And actually his mom, Cam Jones' mom, is the legendary Shirley Jones from the Jones Girls. And their story is going to be coming to VH1 actually, I want to say in May, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure you all look that up and Google that.
What up, it's your boy Dave Tolliver from the legendary Minute Large, and right now you're checking out the Celebrity Interviewer I Said It, the show, baby. Yeah, it's all being brought to you by Chicago Bridge magazine. Yeah.
Shout out to the legendary Dave Tolliver. He actually has some new music out, so make sure y'all go and Google his new music. I forgot the name of the song, but it's hot. Believe that.
You say I said it.
Hey love, it's Shy Love giving a Shy Love salute to the Celebrity Interviewer I Said It, the show, sponsored by the famous Chicago Bridge magazine. Keep doing y'all thing. It's all love and Shy Love. Hugs.
Shout out to Melanie Hogan. She's the founder of Shy Love that's right here in Inglewood, Chicago. And she's been trying her best to make a difference, giving out clothing, food, etc. Just different things over the years, help clean up the block, you know, whatever she can do. You know, she's trying to change the community, hands on. So shout out to Shy Love. And again, thank you for everyone that has sent in videos. If you would like to send in a video, just inbox me the video, preferably under a minute. And I promise I will continue to share it on all of my celebrity interviews. That's free promo. You know what I'm talking about? So I really appreciate you all. And more importantly, I appreciate our special celebrity guest today, our feature, Marilyn Foster. Thank you so much for making time for me and my audience today, Marilyn. Thank you. And salute to you.
Thank you. I said it. I'm definitely going to inbox you a shout out to your show. Awesome.
I really appreciate that.
Much prosperity.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you all next time. And if you have not done it yet, please subscribe to I Said It Management so you can get all the updates and notifications for my next interview. Thank you, Marilyn. I'll see you soon. Blessings.
Okay, see you soon.
Peace, Queen.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you all. See you all next time. Blessings. I said it if anybody asks.